Today's Cowboys Report is made possible by True Classic. We'll tell you all about their awesome t-shirts, shorts, and more. But reminder, you guys can get 25% off when you use promo code CHAT25 over at trueclassic.com/chat25. The entirety of today's show is focused on Jonathan Taylor. You guys are making this happen because the ESPN's talking about it too, but so am I mentioned, so it's worth discussing. Before we get going, do you want to trade for Jonathan Taylor? Why for yes and for no? Go vote at the pinned comment. Now, if you haven't heard, the Colts are allowing Taylor to seek a trade among his many, many issues with the organization, with the team, from ownership to contract, to injuries, etc. The Cowboys have been mentioned as a possible fit by a bunch of outlets. ESPN is pushing it because, of course, they are. Fort Worth Star Telegram mentioned it, which was interesting. I have issues in terms of if it actually makes sense for Taylor and for the Cowboys and all parties involved, which we will get into as part of today's show. But I want to start with a positive mindset. Why it could make some sense if the issues can get sorted out there. You are adding a top talent. You are being aggressive to win football games, which you haven't always done consistently since the salary cap was put into place. And your offense does get better. Jonathan Taylor, when healthy, which we'll get into later, is one of the better backs in the entire NFL. He has been really damned good since the Colts drafted him out of Wisconsin. He's been a very, very impactful football player. And as much as I will continue to meme about Deuce Vaughn on social media, as much as I love him and I'm excited about Rico Dowdle as RB2, look, Taylor is, if he's not 1A outright, he's like an incredible 1B, and you have the best 1-2 punch at the running back spot between Tony Pollard and between Jonathan Taylor. That is electric. That is awesome. I think we'd all feel great about that. But there are very real issues that we will get into, and it's a big reason why I don't think it makes sense in the end for the Cowboys and for Taylor. We will get to those here momentarily, but first, if you have not already done so, subscribe to us here at the Cowboys Report. We have free videos every single day. We'll be doing 2 videos today. So make sure you guys are subscribed. YouTube.com/@CowboysTV. If that ad plays here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there. Go click that subscribe button right now. All right, let's get into the issues of why I'm not that interested with the reality. If it works in Madden, sure. If the salary cap wasn't a thing, if money, draft picks weren't a thing, fine. But the first problem is the Colts, I would say, outlandish asking price for Taylor. Indy does not want to pay him right now, which we'll get into later on because that's a problem too. But they want a first-round pick for him. No, I'm not trading a first-round pick when you just did that whole ordeal with your previous back, and you have a good running back. A first-round pick is not a viable asking price, and I think it's probably why the Colts started there. Now, maybe your middle ground becomes a second and change, or maybe it's, closer to the McCaffrey deal of a bunch of picks. I actually don't find all that interesting there. And maybe you could talk me into, well, if you trade the second because you can't draft with that pick anyway, you consistently miss, and then you don't pay Taylor, okay, maybe that starts to make some more sense, although it kind of is a problem with the money that we'll get to here in a little bit. But a first-round pick for Taylor is a complete non-starter. And the second-round pick, well, that is better, but the other issues that arise also cause some problems. So, what draft pick would you be willing to give up for Jonathan Taylor? Sound off for me in the comment section right now. What draft pick? Is it a first, a second? Are you not going over a third or a fifth? Go vote for me right now. I do take a minute to tell you guys about the amazing t-shirts and shorts I'm wearing from True Classic. I have one of their polos on right now. They are my go-to destination for tees, shorts, jeans even, and other closet essentials as well. I like how they fit and feel and help hide my dad bod just a little bit there. Let's begin with the t-shirts here. You've probably heard me talking about them before because you've been subscribed for a long time, but they are that good. You haven't lived until you've worn one of these perfect fitting tees. They're ultra soft, cut to highlight your arms and your chest while hiding your gut as well, since I've had a few extra beers this summer. And they come in packs because no one likes laundry anyway. The shorts, by the way, I'm not sure I'm going to go to other shorts, and I doubt you will either. Range of styles and colors and cuts, whether it's for the gym, the weekends, a night out, lounging around, whatever. I love the commuter short with a sharp, tailored fit. They've got tons of stretch. They're comfortable as well. Comfort and flexibility is king, and True Classic delivers in that area. If you are ready to make the easiest summer upgrade, shop now at trueclassic.com/chat25 and save 25% off with promo code chat25. Link and the code are in the comments section and the description of today's show. All right, more problems here for Taylor. Number 2 is the contract cost. And I think there is a universe where you trade for Taylor for like a third somehow, and you say, we're not going to pay you, we won't tag you, and that actually becomes a bit more viable there. But what does Taylor want? Why is he upset with Indy? He wants a new deal, and he wants it now, despite having an ankle injury that has him on the PUP list, which maybe that's just a distraction, but Indy claimed a back injury, and there's all kinds of claims there, and maybe injuries aren't the route you want to go. Taylor is seeking a top-end contract in a market that has not just given out zero, they've actually taken them away from players like Ezekiel Elliott and others. The running back market is not player-friendly right now, and I am always of the mindset, I want players to get paid, to get their money, I get all that, but you should pay what the market dictates as well. And the market is not dictating big money at the moment. Look at your franchise tag backs, Pollard, Barkley, and Jacobs are in the top 7. They're tied for 6th among highest paid backs. Dalvin Cook and James Conner at $7 million. Like, yeah, I would happily trade a second-round pick and, or even a third at minimum, and give Jonathan Taylor the Miles Sanders contract. He ain't doing that. He wants, I think, at minimum, the Derrick Henry deal, and probably more like the Alvin Kamara, Christian McCaffrey from that perspective. Like, that's where they're at. It's dicey from that. It's too much for me. And the guaranteed money, by the way, is also, I think, a big sticking point. 3 rookies are among your top 9 in most guaranteed money at the position that's not being handed out. Have we learned our lesson of spend a first-round pick or a premium pick, pay the player? Oh no, the contract's not good. We just went through this with Ezekiel Elliott. We can say this time it'll be different, but history says it won't be. History says it's going to have injury issues. It's going to rear its ugly head. It's going to be a scenario where, hey, this is fine for 2 years. Then time we got to year 3, it's bad all of a sudden. Like, McCaffrey already got traded. Aaron Jones, Joe Mixon, all took pay cuts because they weren't living up to the contract status there. Dalvin Cook, Zeke all got cut. Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb have been good. Don't get me wrong. Alvin Kamara has not actually been that great either. And speaking of the market, it's loaded next offseason. Derrick Henry is going to be a free agent. Josh Jacobs, Pollard, Eckler, Barkley, Taylor, Swift, Dobbins. Now, do some of those guys end up getting paid? Probably. Do some of them get franchise tagged? Maybe. But I think a couple of them hit the free agent market, by the way. And at that point, you have a surplus of backs in free agency, and instead of paying the highest guy like Jonathan Taylor, I mean, what if you just let Pollard hit the open market, and what if Pollard could only get like a Miles Sanders, just for the salary cap, like $8 million a year? Would you rather pay Pollard 8 or Taylor like 15? Plus the draft capital. I think you go with the cheaper option, right? So would you give Jonathan Taylor a huge contract? 1 for yes, 2 for no. I want you guys to sound off for me in the comment section right now. Problem number 3 is that you have other deals coming. Now, you can make it work if you want to. If you want to prioritize a Jonathan Taylor deal, that's fine. You can make it happen. The Jones boys will say, oh, we only have so much pie, and then immediately give the pie to Zach Martin, despite saying they wouldn't, which was the right move, to be clear. But there are other contracts coming down the pipeline. CeeDee Lamb is going to command 25-ish more $1 million per year. Terrence Steele could get some big money. Mike is going to be a $30 million man. I'd love to retain J-Ron Curse. I think Tyler Biadasz is easily going to get $7, $8, $9, $10 million if he plays well again on the open market. A Dak deal would actually bring down his cap, which would be valuable. There's Pollard. Maybe we shouldn't sleep on Osa Odigizua. And maybe, by the way, if you do want to have some more success on the ground, you know what was your biggest problem last year on the ground? Terrence Steele went down, and your O-line struggled, and then you couldn't run the football anymore. Maybe you're better off investing in that O-line as opposed to the running back spot, which, by the way, I don't think is that big of a need. I don't think your running back room is in a, oh my God, we have to go get Jonathan Taylor. We have to find a way to acquire this top 5-ish back because otherwise we have nothing. No, you're fine. Tony Pollard, by the way, is closer to playing football games right now than Jonathan Taylor is. Taylor's on the PUP list. I know it might be a fake ankle injury or whatever, but he ain't been practicing. I am not interested in, like, if you're worried about Pollard's injury, which I am not, okay, wouldn't we be as concerned with a more injured, allegedly back right now? I kind of think so. I will continue to stand Deuce Vaughn as a bit. Taylor's better. That's the serious Tom, not the troll on Twitter right now. But you have Pollard, you have Dowdle, you have Deuce Vaughn. Pollard has been electric, and every time you've given him more touches, has it really impacted his averages? Outside of the unfortunate freak leg injury, which the NFL's kind of looked into getting rid of, he's been awesome. Pollard's going to get most of your workload. How much do you want to invest in, let's say, 50% of the snaps? Dowdle and Vaughn and maybe some Malik Davis can handle, I mean, it's probably more like 40% of their snaps, if that, but still, like, and even less of your touches, by the way. Like, how much do you want to invest in that? I would rather take my money and go find, or my trade assets, and go find some more offensive line help. This depth is bad. If your O-line is good, you can have more success with an average back, or even a mediocre back. If your O-line is bad, even your great backs are going to have a very challenging time from that perspective. So in totality, I am not interested at the costs involved, at the trade, at the contract costs. If the Colts take way less, they take a third, and Taylor says, you know what, I will play for you, I will give it my all, you don't have to pay me, don't tag me, and I'll walk in free agency, okay, that's fine. Both seem wildly unlikely to me at this point. And I want to make this note too. A running back does not and has not put any NFL team over the top since Emmitt Smith. Do we think Jonathan Taylor is the greatest back in NFL history? I do not. So because of that, because of the reality of the cost involved, I'm out. But this is your chance to vote if you have not already done so. Do you want to trade for Jonathan Taylor? Y for yes and for no at the pinned comment of today's show.